question. 5 frogs sat on a lily pad and one of them decides to jump off from the lily pad into the pond. Now my question is, tell me how many of the frogs are still sitting on the lily pad? 4 is what you assume, I suppose. But I'm sorry, you're wrong. The answer is that there are still 5 frogs sitting on the lily pad, and you might be wondering, how is that even possible? Let me tell you. The frog only decides to jump off from the lily pad. Remember, life is a journey, and it begins not when you decide to do something, but when you actually take an initiative to move forward. And this journey of life begins by taking that single step and not by thinking to take that step. Hi everyone, I'm HASINI Lakshminarayanan, an 8th grader, here to present my TED Talk on First Step to Conquer. Everyone has talent, but what is missing is the courage to carry forward that talent to the dark place where it leads. This pandemic collectively had changed all our lives at some extent, but for me, it was the start of my boredom. I started interviewing a few of my friends, then created and documented videos, sent it to their fathers to surprise them on Father's Day. It just takes a small spark to ignite the fire, and so did my interactions with Dr. Nirmala Krishnan, my dad's good friend. Her advice really propelled me in initiating my very own startup at the age of 12. I consider her as my mentor, and she has relentlessly supported me since day one. Now I would like to share few lines which she shared with me about the first step. The first step. The first step is about your first dream. The first step is about believing in yourself. The first step is about accepting your first compliment with grace. The first step is about attracting positive energies from the cosmos. The first step is about encouraging others with your stories. Another source of inspiration for me is Mr. Sujit Kumar sir, the founder of Martram Foundation. His aura, his presence on the stage and his choice of words really helped me nourishing the way I carry myself, and this has resulted in me being appreciated by all my listeners and viewers from across the world. When you take that leap towards making your dream a reality, you experience a different kind of happiness, a sense of accomplishment or fulfillment. And that is when you soon realize that this happiness was your own creation and no one else is responsible for it but yourself. You are the master of your own destiny. As I'm taking baby steps towards my goal, I fully realize that setbacks will be there, and how I respond to these setbacks are going to determine how my future endeavors shape up. I am learning from every experience today, and I full well know that if I'm going to keep up with this, I will be there as a successful leader one day. Let me tell you something. My success did not come without its fair share of struggles, and one such instance was when I did my very first shoot for Avatar Life. I was comfortable doing my interviews on online mode, but also understand the dynamics of social media and what people expect from us and behaved accordingly. But this time, we had 2 cameramen sitting in front of us and a director who watches carefully, and this all of a sudden made me very conscious. And the most embarrassing was when the young achiever whom I was interviewing started helping me out on how to question her. That day, we had to shoot a shot where that young achiever was baking. As I'm a vegetarian, I was very fond of breaking eggs and at least wanted to do it once. I asked my friend if I could try breaking it. I did not know how to do it and just cracked it open on the floor. I did not know that it would smell so bad. I could barely smell my hand that day. A boon and a bane is the advent of social media. A lot of people appreciated the work I did, but there were also a few who disagreed. And that is when I started getting negative comments. Initially, it used to really bother me, but now I have learned how to overcome constructive criticism and just ignore the rest. I used to hear people say, "Let me see how long she'll be able to continue this." As my earlier undertaking with Bhajan and Bharatanatyam did not go well, I couldn't pursue it further, so I had the precedence. But then I decided, instead of justifying what people had to say about me, let me show it with my actions. After all, I believe that action speaks louder than words. Fighting with your inmost souls is just like crossing the 7 seas in a row. But once it's crossed, you will feel liberated. My acronym, which I would like to call CRAFT, which I believe that every child startup would face. This word is also a palindrome, and if you are wondering what a palindrome is, even if you are going to spell it the other way around, it is going to sound the same. F, which stands for facing criticism. Now, this comes with fame. My friends who initially missed me due to my interview schedules have now understood the work I do and have started supporting me. A, which stands for acceptance. Young achievers, the people whom I interview, were hesitant to accept my invitation as they have already been on popular TV shows and have been hosted by popular co-stars. But then today, 90% of them have accepted our invitation once they see my profile. R, which stands for reaching out to new subscribers. This is an ongoing process, and you just have to ensure that you keep your audience engaged. C, which stands for continuing the motivation. When I started, I had 100% motivation. I felt the positivity and I had high expectations that my very first interview would reach up to 100k views. But it was the other way around, and we all will have to agree with the fact that we continue to grow until we continue to work hard, and the only way is to sustain our motivation for every single video. R, which stands for reviling the stress. I personally had to face this a lot when I had to give up my source of entertainment, which is laptop and playing. But then I kept reminding myself about my mission of inspiring and empowering children, and also about the other stories of the other young achievers. A, which stands for age barrier. This is one of the most common challenges faced by any child startup, and I had to face this when I had to be a reporter for Brainfeed and Hindu. The initial thoughts were that I was only 12 years old, but people who said that have taken back what they said once they read my articles. F, which stands for financial challenges. Every child's initial financial backup is their parents. Until they find their own sponsors and until they have been funded, they will have to use the available resources. And these are the 7 big challenges which I believe any child startup would face. I have always been a curious child like most children. As children, when we see the world, we see endless possibilities, and my journey from where I was to where I am now today is an interesting one, and all of it started as I was bored. And like other children, I too attended regular schooling, and along with this, I attended a lot of classes which include Bhajan, Bharatanatyam, public speaking arts, which I completed much faster than others would do. Little did I have achieved is because I had a set goal, and today I am prepared and have planned my strategies. And at this junction, I would like to share a survey which was done way back in 1956 in Yale University. The researchers surveyed on how many of the children studying in the Yale University had written goals, and found out the shocking results that only 3% of them had written goals. 20 years later, they went back to the same people and found out that the 3% of the people who had written goals had accumulated 3 times more wealth than the 97% combined. And during this journey of the first step, I had privilege interacting with some extraordinary children who most were of my age. I were to learn about their struggles, their perseverance, how they never gave up, and one of the most common things in all of them, which were they were the masters of their own destiny. They manufacture their own happiness, and now I would like to share about a few of them. Kritik, who is the founder, CEO of the future of robotics, he himself being only 14 years old, he can train children on robotics. Kaushal Raj, who is the owner of the Milet app. Vinisha Uma Shankar, who is the inventor of the solar ironing cart. Mahendra now is helping her by funding a project. Not only this, but she also has invented 2 other inventions. Vinusha, who is a young baker, who is also an entrepreneur, who has got funding at the very early age of 10. Yashwant, who is the very first Indian to bag 4 medals in the Culinary Olympics, which was held in Germany in 2020. Advait, who is only 7 years old and young artist, who's done exhibitions worldwide, and his paintings are literally sold in lakhs today. Siddharth Pillai, who is the youngest data scientist in Asia, he is being paid at the very early age of 13. He goes for work for 3 days and he goes for school for the other 3 days alternatively. Listening to all of these young achievers, my mind started exploring to the outer world, and the options which I thought previously did not exist started becoming my reality. And now I request you to tell me who this person is on the screen. Yes, that's right. This is Sachin Tendulkar, and Sachin Tendulkar, when he was young, lived at his aunt's house just for a single reason, that there was a cricket field nearby his aunt's house. And imagine how clear he was at that very early age of 5 that he wanted to become a cricketer. And as you all may know, his dreams came true when he played for India at the age of 16. Another famous personality on the screen, could you tell me who this is? I'll give you a clue. He was one of the former presidents of America, and his name starts with a Bill. Yes, that's right. This is Bill Clinton. And if you were to read his autobiography, you may probably know that Clinton, when he was young, went to his school principal and once said that he wanted to become the president of America one day. And imagine if you were put into a situation where you were asked to go and tell your teacher that you want to become a president. What would their reaction be? Let me tell you, they may probably laugh at you and ask you, have you done your homework yet, right? The same thing happened to Clinton as well. But the fact of matter is that not once but for 2 consecutive terms, Bill Clinton was the president of America. Now this is where you might stop me and say, but these are all extraordinary children, they're genius who had a set goal at a very young age. Now could you tell me who this is? She is a young YouTuber. Yes, that's indeed me. But this is what I believe. There is a genius in all of us. A genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. And now I would like to share about a few of my friends who are indeed genius, who are child prodigies. Dr. Prisha, who is only 9 years old, who got an honorary doctorate at the very early age of 9. She is the youngest yoga guru who can train visually challenged children. Marisha Karwa, who is also called as the Princess of Slum. Ananya Raja Raman, who is the global child prodigy of 2020. She had already published 2 books. Now, do only child prodigies excel? I did a survey to find out on how many of the children whom I have interviewed are indeed child prodigies, and found out the shocking results that only 38% of them are indeed child prodigies, and the rest have been recognized and have been identified by their parents and mentors. And also while doing this survey, I found out that all of these children are being supported by their parents. Beyond all this, not just behind my name, Lakshminarayanan, my father, who had consistently supported me since day one, and to all those other young achievers whom their parents and mentors have supported them. There are many other child prodigies who are still unidentified. Now, my question to all the parents in here is that, do you spend valuable time finding out what your child's interest is? Or did you impose your interest to your child's life? Have you ever taken an initiative to find out what your child's calling is? I strongly believe in what our former President Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam said. You have to dream before your dreams can come true. A dream is not something which you see while you're sleeping. It is something which does not let you sleep. Ask yourself what makes you happy. Write it down in a book and do this for at least 2 months. And at the end of 2 months, go through the book and see what you have repeated the most. And that is what most likely you are passionate about. Go talk to your family, your well-wishers, and tell them that this is what you want to do, and take that leap towards making your dream a reality. 10 months back, if someone had asked me this question, would you be able to do all of this? I would have definitely said no, but here I am standing out as the founder of the First Step, my very own startup, and also as a reporter of Brainfeed High magazine and Hindu School edition. Today, I make sure that I write one article every week and have published over 12 articles so far. Also VJ for Avatar Live and Our Glitz. Every child is born with a quality of geniusness. Unfortunately, only a few understand this, and that is why I chose this platform to convey my message for the need for the first step to both the parents and the children. I would again like to repeat the mantra of the first step. The first step. The first step is about your first dream. The first step is about believing in yourself. The first step is about accepting your first compliment with grace. The first step is about attracting positive energies from the cosmos. The first step is about encouraging others with your stories. I would also like to share few success principles which was helpful for me during this journey and which I believe that would be helpful for you as well. There are no failures, only feedbacks. Once you have a target, do whatever it takes till the time is legal, moral, ethical. Choices have consequences. Past is not equal to future. For things to change, I must change first. Remember, the first step matters, either on the moon or on the earth. Taking that leap towards making your dream a reality, towards your path of happiness is important. I have conquered it, and you are only responsible for your success. And this journey of mine would not stop until I reach to the stars which shine up, showing up light to many other young children of me. Thanking for the opportunity. This is Hasini Lakshminarayanan signing out, founder of the First Step. Thank you.